is underway in Finfinne City. Hello and thank you for joining us. I'm Thomas Kamuratu with the latest story of the hour. The House of People's Representatives has reduced the number of its standing committee from 20 to 10. Ricardo Brown has the detail.
House of People's Representatives in its sixth regular session for the work year has decided to downsize the number of standing committee from 20 to 10. In the new structure, every committee has 2 to 4 sub-members according to their work capacity. The new structure is needed to properly perform government's work. The new reform can also help the House to fully implement constitutional mission given to it by the government and is prepared based on the reforms undertaken by the government. Accordingly, the newly reformed standing committees are Standing Committee of Law, Justice and Democracy Affairs, Administration and Audit of Government Expenditure, Human Resource and Technology, Humans, Youth and Social Affairs, Natural Resource, Irrigation and Energy, Standing Committee of Urban Development, Construction and Transport Affairs, Trade and Industry Affairs, Revenue, Budget and Finance Affairs, Agriculture, Pastoral, Taste and Environmental Conservation, as well as Standing Committee of Foreign Relations and Peace Affairs. Every standing committee has its own coordinator and includes 20 to 40 members. Meanwhile, House of People's Representatives have approved a draft of 175 million USD loan agreement between the government of Ethiopia and the International Development Association, INA reported.
Spokesperson of Ministry of Foreign Affairs, Meles Alam, says development is unthinkable without active participation of diaspora. Anwar reports.
The government is very much adamant about engaging the Ethiopian diaspora, which numbers close to 3 million population. This number is equivalent to the total population of some regions and major cities in the country. So anything that will not take into account or that will never accommodate the engagement of the diaspora is half-baked. The diaspora, by virtue of staying out of the country for quite some time, they have their own networks, they have the knowledge and important contributions in transfer of technologies. Therefore, the government is very much committed to make sure that the diaspora is part and parcel of the socio-economic development endeavors in the country.
Ethiopia and Germany have established their diplomatic relations in 1905. And Germany established its embassy in Ethiopia, Finfinne, the capital city of Ethiopia, in 1907. And the same year, Ethiopia has also opened its embassy in Berlin, Germany, in 1907. These countries do have a long-standing relationship. And of course, social, political, economic relationships have been established by these two countries together. In 2016, recently, October 10th of 2016, Chancellor of Germany, Angela Merkel, visited Ethiopia and talked with former Prime Minister of Ethiopia, Haile Mariam Desalegn, where they discussed about human rights, economic development, and also other activities on human rights. But the new Prime Minister of Ethiopia, Dr. Abiy Ahmed, was invited by Chancellor of Germany, Angela Merkel, to visit Germany. And that way, he came to Germany and he discussed a lot of things with the Chancellor, Angela Merkel, in Berlin. That way, Prime Minister Dr. Abiy Ahmed has got hope of reform from Germany as well, that the support from Germany would help Ethiopia work more for more progress. Prime Minister Dr. Abiy Ahmed has also discussed a lot of things with Ethiopian diaspora living in Germany, especially those living in Frankfurt, where in Commerzbank Arena or the stadium in Frankfurt, where about 15 to 20,000 Ethiopian diaspora members from across Europe discussed and raised ideas and questions to the Prime Minister, and the Premier has also responded to them the way they asked it. And Prime Minister Dr. Abiy Ahmed, by the way, called these diaspora members as diplomats of Ethiopia. They are diplomats. You have to, he said, I quote, you have to work for the unity of your people, for the strength of your people, and also you must take part in the development activities and endeavors of Ethiopia that Ethiopia has undertaken. And that way, that was a wonderful meeting where the strength, the unity of Ethiopians was expressed in Europe for the first time. Prime Minister Dr. Abiy Ahmed came to power some 7 months ago and visited the surrounding nations, including Kenya, Tanzania, Uganda, Rwanda, Eritrea, Sudan, and Somalia as well. And also, he was awarded and had highest medal of order in Uganda by Yoweri Kaguta Museveni of Uganda, and also by United Arab Emirates for the works he has done with the Eritrean government. That the broken ties between Eritrea and Ethiopia was again amended and solved after Prime Minister Dr. Abiy Ahmed came to power. And Isaias Afwerki of Eritrea visited Ethiopia, and they have agreed to work together by creating peace and unity of the two people. That way, he expanded and extended his efforts of talking to his citizens, and he went to the United States of America last month and talked to Ethiopian diaspora in the United States of America. Aman Alkari reporting for OBN from Frankfurt, Germany.
Minister of Transport Dagmawit Moges visited Mojo Hawassa Highway and discussed the progress of the road project with all concerned bodies. Thorichak Abanicha reports.
Mojo Hawassa Expressway, which is the part of Addis Ababa, Moyale, Nairobi, Mombasa road corridor, is being constructed at the cost of 13.5 billion birr. Under road development program of the country, this Mojo Hawassa highway comes first, and its construction is being carried out under 4 phases by 4 different international construction companies. Minister of Transport Dagmawit Moges visited the overall status of the project. She has discussed with the project contractor, Ethiopia Roads Authority, and the different consultants of the project. The minister, after her visit, stated that the project is found on a better status, even if some compensation and boundary-related problems are challenging the construction of the project. Our ministry contributes all its best to solve the existing problems. We are ready to discuss with the community surrounding this project, especially the landowners. We will discuss everything in detail. I hope we can solve this problem very soon, she said. She underscored that her ministry is ready to contribute all its best to make the project completed in the scheduled time. I realized that the project is going well, even if it dealt with some problems. The problem related with payment of land compensation will be solved very soon, she said. Dagmawit appreciated the quality of the construction, especially the care they are giving while building bridges. Director General of Ethiopian Roads Authority, Habtamu Tagai, for his part, said all concerned bodies have to work in collaboration to complete the project in its scheduled time.
A workshop aimed at exchanging basic practices, networking, and topics such as prison overcrowding, planning and designing, maintenance, and food chain has been organized in Finfinne City. Olkaon Dumois looked at the story.
Briefing the media, International Committee of the Red Cross Delegation for Africa Union Deputy Head Diana Mekabea said best practice on prison administration will be shared in the workshop.
We have countries which have shown best practices in terms of building construction, food chain, access to sanitation and water. So we've seen best practices, especially in this country, where there was a program of rehabilitation of prisons which has abide by the international standards.
Africa had the benefit of having adoption certain rules like the Mandela Rule, which basically gives guidance for member states of Africa Union for proper detention based on sex, gender, age and reason, she pointed out. The rule offers crucial guidances for members countries to comply international standards. According to Kabea, ICRS is convinced that guaranteeing respect for the dignity of person deprived of liberty and facilitating the work of prison officers in various countries through the establishment by law of national prison management standards would help alleviate the situation. Ethiopia Federal Prison Administration Director General Jamal Abbaso said the workshop will create capacity of awareness on ways of managing prisons.
As we know, there is public grievance in the handling of prisoners in our country. I hope the prison workshop will create capacity and awareness for us.
Jamal stated that discussions were held with inmates on how to improve the rights of prisoners and the services as part of the ongoing reforms on national prison management system. Prison administrators from Oromia, Amara, Tigray, and South Nation Nationalities and Peoples Region and Hara Regional State are participating in the workshop. This 3-day workshop is being attended by participants from Ethiopia, Tanzania, Kenya, Kenya, Nigeria, Uganda, Rwanda, and Gambia. A similar workshop was held last year for French-speaking African countries, it was indicated.
With the rank of Deputy President of the Oromia Regional State, Coordinator of Agricultural Development Cluster, Girma Mente, stressed the need to immediately stop land grabbing activities observed in Central Oromia. Concerned bodies have discussed this subject in Finfinne City. Let us trace the story.
Land management leaders, mayors and security officers have held talks at the Oromia Regional State President Office meeting hall on the ways of preventing the ever-increasing land grabbing, especially in the Central Oromia. On the event, research paper has been presented for discussion pertaining the case. According to the research finding, fulfilling infrastructures and giving license for various social services in the areas where homes illegally built said the main factors that intensifying the illegal construction. Participants of the discussion have raised their ideas and suggestions, including the measures they are taking to stop the illegal construction.
We have been collapsing the illegally constructed homes and buildings, whether they are the belongingness of the poor, government officials, or the rich.
Clear demarcation should be made between Oromia and the capital, Finfinne.
Unless serious measures are taken against the person who directly affiliated with the crime, simply distracting the illegal construction never stops the illegal activity from continuing.
Head of the Oromia Agriculture Development Cluster with the rank of the Regional Vice President, Dr. Girma Mente, stressed the importance of awareness-raising campaign at regional level to stop the land grabbing being undertaken on land of Oromia.
It is very crucial to intensify regional campaign as we used to make on the other sector. The need to create public awareness. In this way, we can bring the desired change.
Head of the Urban Development Cluster with the rank of the Regional Vice President, Ahmed Tusa, said such illegal activity should be stopped soon.
At least
this problem is not occurring this time only or created after 2 years. It started long ago, so our short-term target should be stopping this problem.
Head of the Oromia Land Development and Management Bureau, Dr. Milkesa Midaga, has raised his concern over the case, saying that the move can affect the Oromia Special Zone surrounding Finfinne.
When the illegal construction took place, there were government structures there. When we asked, they responded as if the crime was taking place at night. What does this mean? Doesn't the government work at night?
Welcome back. You're watching OBN Voice for the People with me, Thomas Kamulat. Now news from abroad. The United Nations Security Council considering lifting sanctions on Eritrea next week after rapprochement with Ethiopia. A British drafted resolution proposed the immediate removal of an arms embargo and targeted sanction, a travel ban, and asset freeze imposed on Eritrea. It also strongly encouraged Eritrea and Djibouti to work towards normalizing ties and settling decades-old border disputes. However, diplomats speaking on condition of anonymity said France and some other council members were keen to maintain some sort of diplomatic pressure on Eritrea. A resolution needs 9 votes in favor and no votes by the United States, China, Russia, Britain, or France. Ethiopia and Eritrea in July declared an end to their state of war and agreed to open embassies, develop ports, and resume flights between the two countries after decades of hostilities. Eritrea has been subjected to the United Nations arms embargo since 2009. Reuters reported. Well, many thanks for joining us. That's all for now. Enjoy your time.